Welcome back to Game of Thrones Weekly. You know, there's a lot of podcasts out there that claim to know a lot about Game of Thrones. Well, tonight, we claim to know nothing at all. So sit back, relax, and join us into the unknown.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Bum bum ba-da-dum 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 bum ba-da-dum. That's not bad. It's not good, but it's not bad.
I thought it was above average.
It's right there on the average. I don't know.
Okay,
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Game of Thrones Weekly. I'm your host, Ryan Malaty, and these two gentlemen sitting uncomfortably close together to my left, we have... Introduce yourself, guys.
I am Ross Roggow, and this is...
Lauren Michael Shear.
And we are here to talk about the stuff that we don't know, the stuff that necessarily doesn't even really matter, but could stir up some fun conversation. Ross is an avid fan of the show. Of course, I am too. But you know, to emphasize the importance of this episode about really knowing nothing Jon Snow, we brought in our own Jon Snow. I like to call him Jon Summer, though, because look at that summer dude. Lauren Shear.
It was like the blonde tips at the end.
Yeah, Jon Summer. Mr. Jon Summer.
Like
and you've never seen the show, have you?
There was a period there where I was very sick, and Ross would...
I was binging.
He was binging every episode, and I would, I'd fall in and out of sleep, but I saw a pretty good portion.
So you're familiar... You're
Yeah,
familiar with the global phenomena that is Game of Thrones.
I know a little bit about it.
But you've never really kind of sat through and watched a full season or a full episode.
No, I did watch the last episode. I did see the last episode. I don't know if we're gonna spoil it today.
The most recent.
Oh my
The most
gosh.
recent. I skipped 7 seasons.
You are kidding me. Why would you watch the very...
I'm caught up. I'm caught up.
Close, I guess.
So you know what's going on.
I'm here.
There's a
Missed
dragon.
a couple
It's doing
minor
stuff.
details,
It's a dragon?
7 seasons worth.
Dragons?
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? Speaking of dragons, okay, why not? Let's start off. I have a question for you guys that I have no idea about. It's always kind of bothered me, just a little bit. You know when Khaleesi, Daenerys, she's the Khaleesi, and she's getting her wedding presents for marrying Khal Drogo, right? And they're bringing her stuff, books and gold.
Not even a rice cooker, by the way.
Not even, yeah. It was on the registry.
No pots or pans.
It's so crazy. So they bring her. I don't know who does. I forgot. I'm sure the forums and the comment section will enlighten us later. But someone brings her 3 dragon eggs, right? Which are apparently super valuable.
Good thing she didn't have pans. She probably would have.
I know, right? Good thing she didn't get the...
Throw them in the rice.
Yeah, the napkin rings she wanted. Good thing. But like, I'm just wondering, where did they get these dragon eggs?
Yeah, that is
Apparently these are like the rarest thing. Like, no one even knew even the eggs existed.
Someone has them sitting around, and not only that, they're willing to give them up as a wedding gift.
All 3 of them.
Yeah, they're like, you know what? Here.
Like,
sure.
Like, where do you find petrified dragon eggs?
Yeah.
Honestly, and if it's such a huge deal for Daenerys to have these, wouldn't you think she'd go find some more? I don't know. I know that they're her kids, and it's like not, it's a very touchy subject with her and her dragons. She doesn't want to. They're very close and sentimental and they're important. But, like, wouldn't you think she'd be like...
She wants more.
Hey, they did bring me 3. Maybe there's more somewhere else in the world.
So
and
what about the dragon that laid those eggs?
Yeah.
That would have been first question.
3's company, but think
though.
of Danny plus 8. Let's say, like... cheaper by the dozen. It's got 12 dragons. Hey.
Cheaper by the dozen, but it's just like
Danny by the
an
dozen.
army of dragons that's
every child
blowing
gets
up.
a dragon.
Yeah.
Everyone gets their own dragon.
That's kind of how it
Just
worked with the direwolves. All the Stark
That is
children
true, they each got one.
got dragons. So I mean, if
Oof.
if Danny and Jon, we'll get there. But yeah, that's I don't know. That's a question I've always wondered. Where are these petrified dragon eggs? To answer your question, Lauren, yeah, the last dragon was, a few generations ago when they were kind of being used as like. These
is that I
pets.
did see them in a dungeon at a bunch of skeletons. Was that the mama dragon that I saw in the damn that sucks. Yeah. There's a lot of dragons down there.
There's some dragon skeletons laying around.
Yeah, the biggest one was the size of a carriage.
Yeah.
The biggest skull.
I do remember.
And the smallest was the size of like a puppy dog head.
Oh no.
Yeah, because they would breed them, but they wouldn't train them or let them fly around,
They
or
just like use them for like fodder in like the
S'mores?
arena, right?
yeah, they just use them as spectacles.
Yeah.
So they ended up not growing, not thriving, and they ended up all kind of dying off.
Damn.
So when they brought her the petrified eggs, they thought they were just kind of like a,
Put them in
a
her house
paperweight.
somewhere.
If you think about it, it wasn't really a great gift. Like, here's some rocks.
Yeah.
Did they know they were eggs?
Yeah, they knew they were
okay, they knew
petrified
that.
dragon eggs, but she how it works is she walked into the fire with them, and like her Targaryen last dragon blood magic kind of stuff birthed them out of the flames.
Out of her womb.
Oh yeah,
Straight out of her body.
but I was just like, come on, does that never come up?
Yeah.
Can you get more dragons, Khaleesi? Is that
especially
possible?
after they hatch, she's like, oh, I wonder how many of these are sitting around somewhere. They're just
Yeah.
like, these things are worthless.
Hey, call up
paperweights.
call up the Johnsons. The ones who got us the eggs.
Yeah.
Ask them where they got them from.
Hey, listen,
We got hundreds.
any more of
Yeah.
Just curious. You got the gift receipt for that?
I lost one the other day. Do you know where I could?
The eggs are gone.
Yeah,
For sure.
I left
The Johnsons, are they still alive?
one. No, they're dead. Everyone's
dead.
I thought you were
Of
cut
course,
up.
Oh, everyone's dead. No, that's good. Everyone's dead.
Well,
Johnsons were a big part of season 3 there, yeah.
moving on to just speaking of Dany and her children. You think she's gonna be making babies with Jon Snow? I mean, I know that this is kind of a question that kind of does matter, and we're trying to keep the questions that don't really matter at all. But yeah, how about that? Let's talk about some Jon and Dany McLovin.
There's a good to fair chance it comes out looking like
You think? Yeah, really.
what's the
I
little
mean,
one?
if that's crossbreeding, genetically, I mean, the Targaryens as a family have come out okay. They're all blonde. But
Yeah, they got that white hair.
yeah,
They
and
got-
they're supposed to have like purple eyes or whatever. But
Yeah,
still,
from the book. Did you read the
What?
books?
Well, I've heard hear tell of the tales from the books. I haven't had the time to sit down and read them.
You can
But-
you can lie. It's
Yeah.
okay. We're all friends here,
But
except for everyone watching.
but I've heard and I've done a little digging.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that is really interesting too, once Dany and Jon find out they're related, what's their reaction going to be? Obviously, Dany,
This is what I'd
Yeah.
love to talk about right here.
Okay.
her family,
I'm curious.
her
All right.
I saw
family's
the
used
last
to this.
episode.
All right, so you know what? All right, John Summer, let me ask you this. Let's say you're
right.
you're the king of a great land
Okay.
up in the north. It's nice and cold, and everyone elected you to democratically, right? And you
King of Washington.
I'm just trying to break it down
Yeah, Washington.
for you. And then there's this smoking hot babe, literally smoking hot. She's like
Yeah.
breathes dragon fire. Like
Seriously.
she's
Blowing smoke rings around your face.
seriously, yeah.
So
Like in The Mask.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you do sailboat?
2 smoke rings.
All right. Now she's a great conqueror, right? She's pretty much already conquered what you would call Europe and Asia over there. And
Have
she-
I
Eurasia.
conquered anything?
yeah, well, yeah, you not. I don't know. You're like
You're reaching for sure.
you're like Prime Minister of Canada. Okay,
Okay.
that's pretty much you.
But she's conquering the world.
She's conquering the world, and she comes in, and she's just smoking fine,
dying.
and so you
Okay.
win her over
Oh.
in spite of herself,
Okay.
and you guys make sweet, sweet love,
And then.
right? And then you find out she's your aunt.
Ooh. I'd probably start as soon as I found out she was my aunt. Probably make sweet, sweet love one more time. One more time.
Then complain about the Christmas
And
gift
then
you
I would
never
tell
got.
her. After
We're related.
we're
That's fucking that poised.
Hey, could you real quick? Thanks, babe. Listen,
I could breathe.
we gotta
smoke
talk.
too.
What was
Obviously.
that?
This is a cigarette.
No, but what was the thing? you
She
just did?
can blow, she can breathe fire, can't she?
Oh, I didn't mean literally.
She can't.
Well, she has dragons who can do
I had
it
to get her
for
dragon to do it.
Yeah, okay.
He'd breathe. He'd light my cigarette,
Mm-hmm.
and then the baby. I would find her a third dragon, and then I'd just break it to her. I'd just be like, "Hey, listen, we gotta talk. I think we're related."
Yo, your mom or your dad and my mom.
Long time ago.
Wait, what,
Yeah.
how, it was
it's Rhaegar.
Rhaegar Targaryen
That
is her
Dany's
brother.
Not a bad dad
older
name.
brother.
is her older brother, and her older brother basically
Jon Snow's dad.
So
made
Rhaegar-
love to Lyanna Targaryen or Lyanna
Rhaegar
Stark.
and
Rhaegar
Stark.
Targaryen and Lyanna Stark.
Okay.
And so basically they share the same her brother is his dad.
Is she like
her brother is Jon's dad?
Like straight
aunt, straight up.
As
First,
close to
yes.
Really?
Yeah,
her
not
brother
even, like,
is
second
his
cousins.
father.
Yeah, it is just right there.
But
Yeah.
he didn't know any of his family though.
She's banging her brother's kid.
Listen, I have a hard time seeing this as a problem.
He's so cute.
She is
Real cute.
Yeah. Well, all right. So here's the thing. We have two different reactions that we have to gauge here.
Okay.
It's their
Her
reaction,
okay.
like both of them, right? And then America's reaction, or I guess the world's.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's already happened, and people already
Yeah,
know
we
it.
know.
We
they don't
know it, but people, I think, are still rooting for them to be together.
Yeah.
Which is so
100%.
weird.
Yeah, no, like
But it's
I
not
was.
really weird.
No.
Yeah.
Like the way it is, it's like they started off like right at the beginning. You're like, oh, like that's a power couple waiting to happen. Like they're both like such strong characters by themselves, and like of course, like you're gonna picture them together. You're like, yeah, like that'd be amazing.
Yeah, and then it happens. And
then
you're
you, like,
this
find
is
out,
amazing.
of course,
That was great. Yeah, yeah.
Of course, Game of Thrones, like nothing can be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It always has to have like some like odd twist to it, and of course they're related. Great, yeah, but I don't know.
See, I don't know if there's been South Park touched on it, or I think it was Rick and Morty that touched on it too. There's like this wave of like incest
It's
pornography
It's coming
that's
out,
becoming
yeah.
more mainstream. I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's a
I
thing
mean,
now?
just cultural references. Like, how would I know? Honestly?
Yeah,
But it's
through
like
the
becoming this
grapevine.
worldwide thing where people are just like into it for some reason. Not that they would be in real life, but I feel like it's becoming like a social.
Like a fetish?
It's no longer a
social fetish,
Well, it's no
almost.
longer a stigma.
No.
And it's not even really a fetish.
Well, you
I feel
can't
like it's
take
just
the
a
two
norm.
hottest people in television and just have
That
have
is
them.
true.
I mean, I waited 7 seasons to watch Game of Thrones for this particular scene.
watch
For
the
this
one
conversation.
episode, yeah.
This conversation and that scene, and here we are, and it's great, but it's also not great because it is incest.
It is incest. It's
Yeah.
straight incest, straight up.
Hmm.
My dad's sister.
Yeah,
You can't.
it's tainted for
It's
sure.
so bad. So like, once they find out, what do you think their reaction's gonna be? Because to be honest, I don't know. I mean, they're already straight up in love, right?
Yeah.
So like, they had those feelings. I think. All right, what do you think first? I'll
think-
give you what I think.
I think Dany is straight up gonna be like, oh, cool. I think she's gonna be like, end up talking Jon into it. Jon Snow is gonna be the one that's be like, oh.
Didn't her
God.
family do like terrible things to her too? Like wasn't she?
They did so like at the beginning, her brother.
yeah, like-
Sold her
it
into.
ended up working out in her favor for sure.
Yeah,
Like,
it did.
Definitely.
But it was bad. Like her brother was definitely bad. But yeah, so her family like kind of screwed her over at the beginning, and they have these traditions of incest. Like they keep it in the family.
I heard about that.
Yeah,
All in the family.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she's kind of been raised
Weeknights.
with that. Yeah, all in the family.
I totally agree. I
Yeah.
think that Jon Snow's gonna be like, we can't.
Yeah, he's gonna be like shocked.
I can't.
Yeah, he's gonna pussy out real quick.
Yeah.
And then Daenerys is gonna be like, the Targaryens have been doing this for centuries.
She's like,
it's
"Come
all
on,
good.
It's cool.
It's cool.
She's gonna be like, babe, come back to bed.
And then he's gonna give in,
He's going.
and the world's gonna be okay with
He'll be
it.
like, all right, I guess.
Which is so weird if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because like,
someone's gotta die. One of them has to. It's like, I mean, how are they gonna?
someone's got.
are you sure you've never seen this show before? That's,
Someone has to though. Like how do you?
Probably.
I mean, before it
Jon
becomes an
actually has
epidemic.
already. You missed
you know?
that already.
The what?
John is. Hey, he did die.
yeah, he's been there, done
Ah,
that.
yeah,
By the
yeah,
way.
yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah.
died.
I did
Guys.
that, didn't I?
I just realized that like the three main groups and power couples, not power couples, but like the people in power, Cersei, and then Dany and Jon, they've all committed incest.
Oh,
That's a good point, Anthony.
They've all
It
committed
is
incest.
all over.
Cersei,
It's
Dany,
and everyone's
Jon,
cool with it.
Jaime.
Everyone who's watching's cool with it because like Jaime at first episode you're
Yeah,
like,
they're like,
what? Their brother and sister? That's so messed
I do
up.
remember that.
Yeah.
And then later you're like, oh, Jaime,
Yeah.
He'd do anything for her.
he'd do anything for her. That's so romantic.
Yeah, but then
You know?
watching him leave and just like the snowflake falling on his hand.
You're like,
It's like,
no.
Jamie is like, this is gonna turn out interesting. He's going up there for Brienne, maybe.
Well, that's the thing is we don't. Speaking of redemptions, right there. I mean, come on, Jaime Lannister is like one of everyone's favorite characters now. And look at what he's done. He pushed Bran out of a window to start it off, banging his sister on his son's dead body. Remember that one? Remember that one? Do you remember that one? Do you remember that one?
I don't remember that one.
Oh, he did that.
Yeah, at his son's funeral, like at the wake.
What the fuck?
He basically raped his sister, like, on his body.
Everyone deals with death in different ways.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. You're right. I'm sorry.
Honestly, who are we to judge?
Yeah, that's how he copes
We're
with
just
loss.
we're just your average viewer. That's all.
I mean, to each their own. Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, and then he like kills innocent people, bashes their heads in and stuff,
he's
and
done
then,
that,
but then he like gives Brienne a sword and a set of armor, and we're like, oh my god, he's so sweet.
Yeah,
He's
coming
so
back. Yeah.
he's you know what, he's
It's like
redeemed
that
himself.
first he's sweet, then he's sour type of deal.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah.
oops. Yeah. Like, push Bran.
Yeah.
I do that?
So it's like
We're talking about redeeming him, right?
he's redeemed himself in the viewer's eyes because he's a fan favorite.
Yeah,
true.
I think Jaime's basically a Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah. He's got to do
First
something
he's sour, then he's sweet.
Yeah.
But either way, like, we are happy with him in our hands at the movie theater for sure. Wait a second.
Boy,
That didn't quite play out. In my head, it sounded better. So yeah, I find it fascinating how it's like some characters are hated. Like Ross and I, if you guys haven't seen, we did an episode called Peter Baelish, the Littlefinger story. Or Littlefinger, the Peter Baelish story. Basically, we just talked about Peter Baelish and how awesome he is. Everyone hates him because, he gave sons to the Boltons, like, or something else. But we just loved his character. But it's funny how people hate him and thinks he deserved what he got. But then, they look at Jaime.
It's because Jaime's hot and Baelish is just like, yeah.
It's kind of
like
unfair.
a creepy
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, his looks definitely people are like.
John Summer, what's it like being so good looking, getting away with everything?
Honestly, I don't even notice anymmer.
How many kids have you pushed out of towers?
John, how many sisters have I? All of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay to talk about though now.
Yeah, I guess so.
The platform
If Game of Thrones says it's okay, it's okay.
George.
Hey, what do you guys think? What do you guys think Jon Snow's like in bed? Honestly,
I think he killed it.
You think he did good?
It looked like she was enjoying herself.
He did.
Yeah.
It did. But it didn't even look like he was trying.
Yeah, he was just like casually.
That was the first time. You gotta.
It is. All right.
Yeah.
But you know what? No, actually, we did have evidence.
How good he was?
Yeah. Remember Ygritte?
Oh,
she's like,
that was true.
She said she's like something like what you did with your tongue.
Yeah.
Or something. I can't think of
it.
Yeah.
He wouldn't sleep with her, right?
He wouldn't, and that's
first.
we can all learn from Jon. So we can all take a page out of his book.
I just feel like he'd be super apologetic in bed. Oh, I'm sorry.
What do you think about that?
He is straight up like a Canadian.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
Didn't mean to do that.
Oh, sorry.
So sorry.
Also, Ingrid was his first, right?
Yeah.
So
He was a virgin.
Yeah.
He lost it to a wildling.
And then he just goes and bangs up other dragons. It's like, wow. That's a great track record.
Straight up from a wildling to like
a queen
of Essos.
The bottom.
The award for most improved. He definitely.
Yeah.
How do you go back? You can't like.
Wildling
goes down.
That's
You can't go
the
back
bottom
down.
of the bottom.
He really should have taken baby steps.
Yeah, he's peaked now.
He's peaked.
Where does he go from here? Like, obviously something's gonna happen.
Should like Rose the Universe, maybe. I don't know.
But the red woman's pretty fun.
She's Melisandre, right? Melisandre.
He's going for the
She's
Lord
a
of
cutie.
Light next.
She's a cutie.
The Night Queen.
Going for a god next.
Yeah. Yeah, he must be pretty good. I mean, he's good with a sword.
That's good with a blade.
He's good at swinging that thing around. So hey, come on, good for him. You know what?
Yeah,
good for you, Jon Snow.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm happy for him.
You son of a.
He's a lucky guy though.
We don't. I think we covered Jon and Dany pretty good.
I think so.
We don't know anything that's gonna happen.
This is all speculation.
Yeah, we don't know.
Mm-mm.
We know nothing, Jon Snow.
Back to Jaime though. I think he should ditch his gold hand for a hook.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But not like not Captain Hook.
No.
Hook. What kind of hook? What kind of hook?
I'm freaking like a hook.
Well,
if
okay, you
he's-
can't just say it
No.
again.
So
Give
if
us a
he's-
shape. Not like a hook, like a hook.
No, no.
Like Captain Hook, man. Where like
a Captain Hook.
He can make a gold where he could like block swords or whatever still. But like if he's gonna like, he should either pick. You know, he's gonna be no more of this polarizing stuff. He's gonna be good. He's gonna be bad. If he goes back to Cersei, Hook.
Yeah, eye patch.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Get
straight pirate.
Get rid of the golden hand thing. Just freaking Hook. Yarg's in there somewhere.
I think he should.
He's
I
gonna
mean,
go sailing with Euron.
yeah.
probably.
I would like to see him have like a whole list of attachments.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Little
you got
crossbow
That'd be kind
thing.
of cool.
You can do like you can just straight up have a sword for a
How do you
hand
not
or a
think of
dagger.
this? He's like, I'm used to. No, you're not. You're not creative enough in battle.
He just has a hand.
Freaking-
This really, honestly, it did come into handy
It
one
did.
time.
Saved him once.
Saved him once.
One
Did
save.
it just like stop a
Some
a door?
sword.
some
some sword.
some
He was like,
Dornish soldiers.
And he like flings it away.
You know, hit him with a sword and he like caught it.
Yeah. With his
And he was
little-
like, "Oh, look at that!"
with his bare mouth.
Surprise! Yeah.
Didn't even mean to. He's like,
Got him.
"Oh, how do you
Yeah.
know?" Great, cool.
Just like instincts. What instinct is that to catch the sword?
I mean, you put your hand
I
up.
guess,
where-
but, yeah.
Like, have you ever noticed, like in movies, or I guess you know,
Yeah.
that's your first reaction. If someone's gonna point at
guess,
something,
okay,
you know,
fair
shoot
enough.
you in the face, you're gonna,
Throw
even
your
though that
hands
might
up.
not do much,
Yeah.
it's better than
But
nothing.
You feel
He should
safer,
get
I
it.
guess. Yeah.
He should just get a shield attachment.
Ooh.
That's
That-
exactly
Ooh,
a shield
yes.
is what I
That's
was. Yes,
genius.
I agree.
Thank you.
A shield.
Anthony in the booth, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen.
A
I mean,
shield.
Just-
a straight shield. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
ting ting.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something that no one asks. Why doesn't Jamie Lannister have
Get some
attachments for his hand?
attachments.
Get a whole
I-
utility belt. He
Put
could
a
just like.
belt on
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
He
yeah.
could be a super. I know for a fact Qyburn could make something.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
There
too.
you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this man, who even knows what the mountain is anymore behind that helmet? Probably Darth Vader. But this man could make a freaking attachment belt for
He
Jamie
could,
Lannister.
Jamie, and he could just like he could have like a whole thing where he could fling dragon fire bombs.
Oh yeah, they've got enough. They got enough leather to make him like a superhero outfit.
Ooh, a whip.
A whip.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, and then he can like swing, grab onto something, swing across like a
Yeah,
ravine,
yes.
detach it,
Grappling
grab
hook.
on.
Indiana Jamie. Yes.
Indiana Jamie.
Indiana
One
Jamie.
man. Indiana Jamie.
If he goes
One man army.
If he goes back to Cersei, he could like anal
Yeah.
beads over here.
Okay. All right.
Oh man.
I've seen the show twice.
I think we might have to
Yeah.
tag this show explicit already. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Is that-
Whoops.
I mean,
I
we-
already wrote it in.
Are we not allowed to, are we allowed to cuss on this?
The first minute.
well, we are now.
Way to go, man.
Dang it.
I mean, might as well just get it all out now.
Yeah.
We can really earn this explicit mark now.
Yeah.
Just go ahead. Say whatever.
Just throw it. I'm scared.
Just say. Come on. Go ahead. Twat. Just twat.
I said, twat.
Is that the worst thing?
Twat. Nah, it gets stronger as you go. Twat.
This is Game of Thrones. They say
They
say
They curse.
they curse. So anyone watching is
The
gonna
first thing I
understand
saw
that.
in Game of
But
Thrones.
anal
Yeah,
beads
yeah.
really does put it into that.
There was
Parental advisory
With your-
suggested
yeah,
right
definitely.
there.
Yes, definitely said yeah.
I mean,
With
but
the arm
but
attachment.
all
like,
that all that being said,
That being said, still not a bad idea.
not a bad suggestion. Okay, you're right.
Qyburn could probably.
It could get freaky in there.
Like, what's this request?
This
you brought
last
on my
one,
life
I have
here?
a
I don't think he'd have any
Um,
problem with it. Be like, how big do you want him?
Yeah.
Like, Qyburn's,
for your sister, right?
You
yeah,
say jump,
yeah.
I say how high. He say anal beads, I say how long.
How big? How many?
How many?
Oh, yeah.
I just want a
Gold, I
utility
presume?
belt of anal beads.
It's not.
Tell me
It
when.
wouldn't be a utility belt anymore. It would be an anal bead belt if that's all that was on there.
Could you imagine at the battlefield, like he hits his shield attachment, and the other guy's like, "What the? What's that one for?"
God!
I'm out of here,
He
man.
puts it in the wrong, the belt loop.
He said fighting with it.
Oh, and, I mean, how about this, just for practicality? A fork or a knife. You know,
He's
just like
right-handed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spork.
a spork.
I mean,
there you go.
There's one.
I
Spork.
guarantee the dude's like trying to put a fork in his like gold hand, like.
Yeah, watch me fail at dinner again.
Unless it was magnetized, the fork and the hand.
I've never seen magnets in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It's, you know,
But it's natural.
imagine what a game
Magnets
changer
are natural.
that would be.
Night King defeated.
Magnets.
We've got him.
Yeah, you know what? You know, that's another question I have. Honestly, this is so Game of Thrones is is really kind of like almost a parallel universe to our humanity, whereas they've developed things very similar to things that we had based on our historical records of armor and shields and siege weapons and just straight up all the same creatures, food and beer and wine and cups and it looks like
socks.
It looks socks, sure. Socks. It basically looks like medieval. The world, Earth,
times, yeah.
medieval Earth, right?
Yeah.
So I'm curious, at what point are they going to hit some kind of revolution or industrial discovery?
Guns. Yeah.
You get guns.
Sniper on the wall.
I'm so
Got the
down
Night
for
King.
Game of Thrones steampunk.
Yeah.
Steampunk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Like the future. How are they? Is there's like some gonna Sir Isaac Newton like Qyburn like comes up like I've discovered a steam engine. You're welcome.
Let's drive up to the night. Let's run them over.
Right.
That'd be where we start seeing like this like
Flintstones.
the Flintstones. The dragons are like helping start fires.
Dab dab.
They've got like a baby dragon on a dishwasher somehow. Garbage disposal.
Yeah, I was just like trying to mix them together. Anyway, yeah, exactly. At one point, because you got to think, okay, everyone thinks about the future of, who's going to rule the Iron Throne, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking, when's democracy and capitalism gonna strike? When is there going to be like a forefathers kind of situation that sparks, in the invention age?
As soon as the Lannisters fall, though, right? I mean, because they're kind of the ones keeping it the same, right? Aren't they?
I think it's
they have all the money.
Danny's trying to break the wheel, though.
It seems, honestly, it seems kind of like the Dark Ages in Game of, you know what I mean? It's like there's like these religions that are granted kind of accurate, it seems, sometimes, because there is magic of sorts.
Yeah.
So it's almost like there's some parts of it that I guess are keeping the world the way it is in that world. But, because for us, we had religion, we can't really say for sure one way or the other if these kinds of miracles did happen. I mean, some would argue yes, some would argue not at all, whatever. But either way, we pushed through that part of humanity, human history, to, hey, look at us. We got microphones, and you're streaming this on your laptops and your cars and your Twitters right now. What's gonna happen? How's that gonna happen? What's the future of this universe?
Yeah, that's true.
When is that gonna happen? I don't know the answer.
And I mean, think about
it's got to be in the Citadel, right? Like it's got to be with
like
the Grandmaesters. They're gonna start figuring out how to do stuff eventually. They'll start thinking. They'll start understanding like the laws of physics and stuff. I mean,
people are ready. Like, just think of like life in King's Landing. How bad that would be as just a normal person.
Just a normal peon.
You're like, you get like your like chance once in a while to like shame Cersei. You're like, I'm gonna throw my poop at her. And yell,
that's like the highlight of your whole life.
Like, here we go. Finally.
I threw poop on the queen.
Woo, here's my chance.
Hit her right in the face.
Yeah.
Well, as we found out later on in that season, or the next season, the one guy who was bragging about it is like, "I'll whip my cock out," and you better believe, Cersei, then he got his head, the mountain's head smashed his head in, which is like, you gotta wonder who's cleaning up that body. Is there like all these dead bodies?
He just left it there, didn't he?
Honestly, is there a system put into place?
It already smelled bad enough.
Like in Monty Python, like, bring out your dead.
You're dead. I'm not quite dead. He's close. He's really close. Get him on the cart.
Honestly, I want to see, like, how do these cities function?
That's a great question.
It seems like most people are just
morale must be low.
Real low.
Yeah, dragons flying above them.
Well,
there's that. We're dead any day now.
Dragon?
Any day now.
And it seems like all they really eat is bread and like chickens.
Yeah, that's true.
And boar. But I've never heard of beef.
Grog.
I've never seen anyone make a burger.
Yeah, not quite there.
A little bit enough.
They're always eating ambiguous medieval like food with their hands.
The pies though.
Pies.
Arya's friend.
Yeah.
He makes good pies. That's
Hot Pie. His name's Hot Pie.
Hot Pie.
Yeah, Hot Pie.
And Arya makes, she made a pie of the phrase. Yeah, you remember that?
Say what now?
Walder Frey. Whenever
Oh, right. She did make a
She
pie.
made a pie out of all the fray.
A people pie.
Yeah, people pie.
Yeah, a Scott Tenorman pie.
One of my best recipes.
Yeah.
I don't think I use enough butter.
You know, I'm curious, like, is cuisine different around the world? Like, is Essos have, like, a certain kind of cuisine and Westeros? And also, are there any more than just 2 continents? Is there like a southern? Is there like an Antarctica or like a southern Westeros?
Is there like a whole nation, nation that they haven't even touched upon yet?
Well,
you know what I'm
Just on
saying?
the other side.
What it looks like is like a giant, like Westeros looks like a giant England.
Yeah, UK.
Or UK, yeah.
Like.
And then
They shoot an
Essos
island.
looks like a giant China or something. You know, just like a
the
ambiguous
shape. Yeah.
Eastern,
Other
more
part of the world.
exotic.
Yeah, like very warm, deserty, like that type of style.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, like, what if they like end the season 8 like that? It's like someone else comes in and like, hey, cool throne. I think I'll sit on it. We got 10 dragons too,
Yeah.
and these other things. You're like,
What? Where'd you come from?
dun, dun.
Below
Yeah.
Dorne.
Yeah.
Way down there. You guys never. Did you ever sail
No
down
one
there?
ever sailed down there.
You gotta wonder. There's like
It's twice the
undiscovered.
size of Westeros.
Yeah, there's got to be some other the indigenous people somewhere doing something.
Yeah.
You know.
I would venture to say yeah.
And I'm curious. Okay. Well, the first thing that went in my head is like, what's going on in Essos like right now that Daenerys isn't there?
That is true.
Like, are they doing all right?
She left that.
She pretty much left Dario
boy toy.
Naharis,
Yeah.
in charge of an entire continent.
She's like, that was great.
He's like just
You know
some
what?
guy. He's like, I don't want to rule. All I'm good at is fucking and fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And she's
Fucking
like,
fighting.
you'll be fine. Just take care of the entire world over
Just
here.
like this whole continent.
Yeah. Do you think he's just having fun
Keep
over
all
there?
the
You think-
slaves in check.
She's
These
gonna get
guys
back.
Try to kill you a lot.
And the place is gonna be in flames. She's gonna be like, I needed those people
Yeah.
to fight this war.
You know, no, actually, they're going to go back.
Hmm.
And because she toppled that dictatorship and enlisted what seems like kind of like an oligarchy
Yeah.
almost, because it seems like the rich
Run the place.
are responsible for putting the slaves to work, but they're not slaves, they're commissioned workers now.
Yeah. And
So it seems like it's going to be more like a kind of almost a capitalistic society. What if she goes back there and they're like straight up like New York in it?
they don't need her anymore.
You know what I mean? They got trains
Oh,
and
back. Magnets everywhere.
magnets everywhere.
Danny, huge discovery.
Check this out. And then we quickly turn that into an electric generator with some copper wires. It's easy
stuff.
Yeah, you
don't need
really
you.
think
They
about
don't need
it.
Yeah,
you or your
electricity.
fire anymore.
Yeah.
Got electricity.
I've never seen one person on a bicycle. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They have chariot
They have
or
wheels.
they have wheels.
Did they
Yeah.
have bicycles like back then?
They could have made them.
Do they have
Yeah.
rubber?
Yeah, did they?
Do they have rubber? That's a good question. I don't.
I mean, they could
They have-
like.
What are the
I guess
shoes
it could
made
be
of?
like leather and then put it would be wood and then put leather over
Leather
the
wheels.
wood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
could
exactly.
make it.
That'd be fine. And
If they
and they
can-
also, I mean, they have you know they have the ability to forge glass. They
If
got
they can
beautiful
figure
glass
out-
cups. They've found ways to make beautiful palaces.
Oh yeah.
The right
And
dominoes have been in
ships.
place.
If they can make a catapult, they can make a freaking bike.
I want to know. What are the kids doing? Do you ever see any? The only time you ever see any kids
They're getting
They're
pushed
trying
out
to
is
of
when-
win
windows.
people.
is when
The
they're like-
assassin
They're walking on
and-
people
Yeah.
fucking.
they're
Yeah,
they're like
pushed out of
orphans. That's
windows.
the only time you see them is they're like sickly orphans or they're getting murdered by thens.
Please, sir, can I have some more?
Yeah, what are these kids doing? Do they go to school? Are there schools in King's
Yeah, what
Landing?
do you do back then?
You know?
Hmm.
What are these kids doing all day?
They listen to stories. I know Brandon, and he had his.
Yeah.
his,
The
like,
only
bandmate or
books they got
whatever.
are like books about the knights and kings and queens of Westeros.
Yeah.
But is there anything about astronomy or math? I mean, it seems like the only books there are history books, and then the occasional medical book that
Yeah, the
Sam
Master's Eve.
pulls out and says,
Yeah.
"Oh, check it out. By the way, I'm gonna cure you. No big deal."
Yeah. Oh, grayscale.
Oh, it's
Sure.
never been done before? Watch it.
Watch it.
Yeah, done
Watch this.
once.
You're a lovable character.
Yeah.
Okay. We're
First try, I think I'm invincible.
it's been a long time since the Red Wedding. We don't do that anymore. Now we bring our beloved characters back to life
Keep
Jorah's
saving them.
yeah.
because that's what the people want.
Mm-hmm.
For now.
For now, yeah, until we
now.
get sick of it. We're like, just kill them all, burn them all.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
know
know.
what?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. So there's some things about the society that we just don't know anything about.
The infrastructure.
Schools, hospitals, You know, are there games? Do they play professional sports? You know, I know the ancient societies had like
tournaments.
Yeah, like the what's that
Jousting.
sport that?
Joust.
I guess you're right, jousting.
Jousting.
Yeah.
The horse thing.
They bet things like daggers on those type of things.
Yeah, a gold dragon.
Yeah.
I bet a whole gold
They have trial
dragon.
by combats.
Yeah, it's so fun. That was so, but like no like ball sports, no soccer. I feel like soccer's like inevitably going to happen even in a parallel universe like that.
Yeah.
Because I mean we have feet and we want to kick stuff around.
I kicked an apple around for 25 minutes the other day. I'm not even kidding.
You really?
It's gonna happen. Yeah, you know.
I heard a joke the other day. Goes, I remember the last thing that my grandpa said before he kicked the bucket. It was, "Watch how far I can kick this bucket."
Killed them.
I was like, you just heard that?
And then I pushed him down the
They're
stairs.
like, he kicked it around the world and it hit him in the back of the head.
Yeah,
that
you
was
know,
great.
with enough force, you technically could do that.
It's like, I killed myself. Most creative suicide ever.
With a bucket.
Yeah. Kicked
Kicked it around the world,
Probably where that phrase came from.
Okay.
Hit me
alright.
pretty bad. The back of the head.
Oh, you know, I have a question. About. Remember when Jorah Mormont was kind of asking questions around, and that it was called the Quaith. The Quaith.
With the Q,
Remember that
that
one
one thing, yeah.
the woman who was wearing like an armored mask,
The weight.
and she
I
no,
remember.
not the waist.
She was like,
the Quaith.
she
the
knew.
Quaith.
She knew a lot. of
She knew a
things.
lot. She's like, oh, by the way, the dragons are being
easy.
kept in this place.
These wizards.
Don't betray her again, Jorah, kind of thing. And she's just like, who is this woman?
are
Where'd she come
you?
from? And why did she just drop in and to give answers?
Yeah, she's just like,
No one knows who this
Yeah.
woman is, and no one cares really.
maybe she'll
but,
resurface.
but us,
Yeah.
the common
care.
folk, we care.
Yeah.
We care so that you don't have to.
People who know nothing.
We know nothing, Jon
I
Snow.
bet she'll come back. Just like I think Ed Sheeran.
You think he's coming back?
They'll work him in some. He'll probably be a White Walker.
Just a White Walker just strumming.
No.
Yeah, you know that's a good point. So the White Walkers, they take babies and they turn them into White Walkers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone else is just kind of Army of the Dead, kind of different. But for the White Walkers, what do you think they do in their spare time?
Oh,
You think that
great
they have
We
because
saw.
because they
They
have
stand there, don't they?
think about it, they have spears, they have clothes and armor,
They're
which
playing
means
soccer.
that there's that's what they're doing. They're playing soccer. White Walker soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know the Night King can throw a javelin.
You got to know
Over
that he's
any
practiced that before.
Yeah.
It's not the first time you threw a spear.
They probably
No.
have a whole Olympic system.
Yeah, and you know what? Do they sleep? Do they?
They don't need it.
Why do they wear clothes?
How do they
They're
put-
obviously not cold. You know?
I'd like to just watch them put on some armor. Just kind of how
how do they-
weird
Yeah,
the
how they
armor looks
strap
like,
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like,
They're like,
hold this strap for me. I said, hold this strap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Firmly
Who's
grasp it.
yeah, who's like doing all the? I guess you know they kind of answer that question because like who's doing all the bitch work? It's the dead people.
Yeah.
Because remember they were pulling the chain
Oh, yeah,
to
the
get the dragon
mysterious
out of there.
chains
So
that
you think
just
they're the
flying
ones that are
around.
like mindlessly like doing all the chores? Do you think like White Walkers just live like totally like cush lifestyles when they're not trying to take
It's
over the
kind of
world?
like a hive mind, like we saw. You know, like you kill like the main one and like all the other ones fall.
Yeah.
Maybe like the main ones are just kind of like messing with them the whole time. He's like, let's see if like these guys are like this group of 5 and like kill this group of 5. They're like, go.
Just playing games with
it's
their
like,
dead guys.
Like, and then
how
they
far
verse
can you
each
throw
other.
that one's head?
Yeah.
Also, they do age, right? Because if they turn the White Walker, remember
Yeah,
the baby
became old men right away.
But where are these baby White Walkers?
Yeah,
Is there like a White Walker nursery out there somewhere?
They're the deadliest warriors they've got.
Right?
So there are two types of.
So
There's
the
dead, the zombie, like the skeleton guys.
Yeah, if you die north of the wall, and you'll within
Probably
the
not.
vicinity of a White Walker, then you come
can,
back from the dead
raise
as
the
like
roof.
as you're just
They raise the
a what's called a white.
An animated corpse.
WIGHT. Yeah, it's just an animated corpse that's kind of animated by the power
Of the
the
White
White Walker that's in
Yeah.
the vicinity that you came
So the White
from.
Walker is like just a different species. It's not like dead or anything. It's just like
White Walkers
Well-
are like the ones that the Night King made.
And the Night King was,
So
we
it started
think,
with
made
him.
by what's called the
started
children,
with him.
the children of the forest.
Yeah, I think we know they're made by them, don't we?
Yeah, the original guy,
do.
which is kind of barely skimped on a little bit, just like kind of touched on barely. But it gives us time to talk about, because then what happens is we saw that at Craster's Keep. He's giving away babies, the firstborn, well, all the born boys. The White Walkers take them up to their like dojo, and the Night King like touches their face, and then their eyes turn blue. So it was like, okay, that's how they make White Walkers, obviously, right? But the baby didn't like morph into an old man White Walker.
It's like the
it's
Santa
like
Claus
still a
movie
baby. It's
where
still
it grows his head.
just poof.
Benjamin Button type thing.
Yeah, Benjamin Button baby.
Benjamin Button baby.
Yeah. So it's like I gotta know, like, what does White Walker society look like up
I'm
there?
kinda
They're raising these White Walker
You think
babies.
he's ever turned away a baby, sent it back?
That's an ugly baby.
He's like, oh, not that one.
Oh, that baby.
It's like a hunchback.
Not even gonna bother killing that one.
Yeah. Do they eat? Do they feel? Do they?
I'm curious.
I'm curious. These White Walkers, they don't give much away, but
They
you
don't.
gotta wonder. They have armor. They grow old.
It's got dreads.
They
How'd that hair get there?
They grow hair,
But
which
does
means they gotta
sprout?
be. Are they eating? Are they eating ice up there?
Yeah, how'd they make these spears too?
Yeah, someone's making these spears.
Yeah.
So there's this whole nother society, which, by the way, you gotta wonder in Game of Thrones how there's a good and bad side to every side. We found that Lannisters. We hate them, then we're like, oh, we like them, and it goes both ways for everybody. That's the great thing about Game of Thrones, is that the stark difference, difference between good and evil is blurred. There's not black and white. There's shades of gray in this show, and it just goes to show that even if you're the noble guy and you make a wrong move in this game, you're gonna die. There's no quote unquote happy ending. So I'm wondering, do the White Walkers have a good side to them? If we've looked at it from their perspective, I mean, a life is a life. White Walker lives matter too, don't they? Maybe, maybe not. Who really knows? Honestly, because we know nothing, Jon Snow.
Maybe he's like searching for his long lost son, and he loves babies. He's like, Craster keeps sending him kids. He's like, oh, you remind me of... No,
You're cute.
Yeah.
Damn it!
What have I done?
What have we done? What was this show about? We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. But it was really fun talking about just all the things that aren't so serious, but still are just... This is the stuff that we love to do off camera too. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. That's about how much time we have today, because we don't know what time it is. We don't know anything. But we do know that we love doing this show for you. Game of Thrones Weekly, every Sunday, same time, same place, 7 p.m. I'm Ryan Malaty. You can follow me everywhere at Ryan Malaty. Ross?
And I'm Ross. You can follow me on Instagram at Ross Like a Boss.
Like a boss.
And I'm Lauren Michael Shear, and we're signing out.
Yep, we certainly are. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time. So honestly.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
We know nothing, Jon Snow.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.